Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to today's video. Today, Scout and myself are going to be road tripping from the Lower Peninsula and finally heading back up to Marquette. We are super excited. And also guys, in today's video, we are going to be talking all about how you can stay on top of your fat loss goals when you are traveling and when you are not tracking your food using a nutrition app. And there is a 4-step process that I like to follow when it comes to me not actually tracking my food, even though tracking your food is always going to give you the best results when it comes to you reaching your fat loss goals. Because the way I like to look at this, all of the variables that go into play with fat loss, and it's important to stay in control of these 4 main variables at all points. Your sleep, which is going to be number 1, your hydration, which is going to be number 2, your nutrition, which is going to be number 3, so making sure that we are consistently eating the same amount of calories and trying to stay within that macronutrient ratio also, and then also your training or the caloric expenditure too, because fat loss is reached by staying within your means of your calories on a consistent basis. And when you do that over time, you're going to see that weight drop down on the scale, preferably from that body fat. And so if we are traveling and if we are going on vacation and you know that just during that time, you are not going to be using a food app to track the meals, then today we're going to be talking what is that best approach that you can take when you're not using a food tracking app, but also to stay on top of your nutrition while on vacation. I broke this down into 4 main steps that we're going to be talking about in today's video that's going to help you stay on track. So first off, that step number 1, which we are going to talk all about right now. And we also want to make sure that we are doing these steps in order too. So step number 1 is determining your normal meal frequency. So before you even go on vacation, it's important to know your normal meal frequency. Do you typically have breakfast, lunch, and dinner and a night snack like myself? Or are you someone that just only has 2 meals per day? Once you determine your meal frequency, that is going to allow step number 2, 3, and 4 to come into play, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit. But for right now, guys, we are going to be heading back up north. We're going to catch you at Marquette Bridge. Man, does it feel good to be back in the UP. As you guys can see, we are officially back in the UP, and we're gonna keep this vlog moving because there are so many bugs out here right now, guys. It's pretty, actually, it's kind of gross actually. But anyways, guys, now that we're back in the UP, I wanna share with you guys tip number 2 so that you stay on track with your fat loss goals on the days that you're traveling like we're doing right now, but also you're not tracking your food. So the second tip, after you know your meal frequency, then with every single meal, you want to make sure that you are prioritizing your protein. And your protein goal might be a little bit different depending on many different factors such as your gender, age, height, etc. But a good range to start with for every single meal is going to be typically around 25 grams all the way up to, I would say, even 45 grams of protein. And I would highly suggest always try and go around 35 to 45 grams of protein every single meal, because it typically is just hard to do that when you are out and you're hitting up a lot of restaurants. Just that's typically what I shoot for, and again, you might be a little bit different there. Now another thing too is when you're in a fat loss phase, you are reducing your calories, and it's important to make sure that not only are you consistently doing your resistance training so that you retain your muscle mass during that fat loss phase, but it's also vital to keep your protein intake higher than even normal compared to a maintenance phase or a bulking phase, because you also run the risk of losing muscle mass. So with that being said, guys, even if you are traveling, make sure you do not skip out on that protein. What is up, guys? Me and this guy just got done with an awesome walk right next to the Marquette Bridge. Snapped a pretty sweet photo and just letting everyone know that we are back home base, and it feels oh so good, guys. I just want to pop on here also and just kind of share with you guys how this YouTube journey has been going for myself too lately. So as you guys might know, or you might not know, on my 30th birthday, I made a commitment to myself to post a YouTube video every single Monday and Thursday. And that is not only just like a challenge to myself, but like a straight up commitment to myself. And it has been a month and a half, maybe about 2 months actually now. Well, no, a little bit under 2 months that we have been staying consistent with it. And I have not missed one upload on both Monday or Thursday. And there has been some tough days, I'm not gonna lie. And today is one of them. And I just want you guys to know that I am loving every second of this challenge. Today would have been the day where in the past I would have looked at my camera and said, maybe tomorrow. And I just want to relay this on to whatever kind of goal it is that you are trying to reach, whether that's with YouTube, whether that's with fitness, whether that's with your financial goals, or anything else that you're just trying to strive for in life. And you know deep down, your mind, your gut, and your heart are telling you to go all in. Guys, make a commitment to yourself and go all in, okay? It is so worth it. And there's going to be some days that are extremely challenging, like today, for example. Today, it's late in the evening. We didn't get this YouTube video started till later on in the day. It's already Sunday evening. We're traveling back, and tomorrow this video needs to get uploaded. And yeah, I might not be on my perfect upload schedule because you gotta plan, you have to shoot, and you have to edit and schedule a YouTube video, and that's a lot of work. So behind the scenes, uploading and shooting and doing all the work with these videos, guys, there is a lot of work. And if I didn't have that deep fire, that deep why I want to do this, days like today would be extremely challenging if I did not know why I decided to pick up this camera and get started, guys. And it's ultimately a huge form of delayed gratification. I know my goals here on YouTube are not going to be today. They're not going to be tomorrow. I'm not going to see them next week, and maybe even not next year, but guess what? We're going to keep on picking up this camera, even on the tough days when we don't feel like it. And no matter whatever goal it is that you are trying to achieve in life right now, it's going to be the same thing. Every single step that you take, you're not going to see the result right after you take that step. Not even a week after you take that step. But you have to pick up that camera. You have to take that step if you want to achieve your goals, guys. So I just wanted to pop on here and share with you that. And also, since I'm at it right now, I also want to share with you what the third step is going to be when it comes to not tracking your calories and staying on top of your nutrition when it comes to being in a fat loss phase and you are traveling. So again, step number one, that is when you keep your meal frequency the same as if you are normally tracking your calories. Step number two, you are prioritizing your protein with every single meal. Step number three, I have it listed as step number three for a reason, okay? Step number three comes before step number four for a reason. So step number three is to eat your meals slowly. And the reason for that is because it takes some time for your body, your mind, to register your level of fullness. So step number three, when you're not tracking your calories while you're traveling, but you are still striving to reach those fat loss goals, make sure you eat slow. And that's going to lead directly into step number four, which we'll talk about when we finally get home and we're done with this road trip, guys. Well, guys, we officially made it back to Marquette. Myself and this guy are quite tired. It is currently midnight right now, so it's pretty late, guys. We're gonna end the video right here, but before we do end the video, of course, we have to talk about tip number four. And again, tip number three, actually, I want to run through all of the tips again really quick, just so we have that like refresher because they all spin off of one another, or they all feed off of one another. And so tip number 1 again was to know your meal frequency. Tip number 2 is to prioritize protein with every single meal. Tip number 3 is to slow your eating down a bit. And those 3 are in order for a specific reason, because tip number 4 is to eat only until you're about 80% full, or about 80% satiation with each of those meals. Absolute maximum. If you're following those 4 tips, you're going to stay and hold your body weight while you're traveling and when you're not tracking your calories and your macronutrients. And a lot of times what happens is, if we go on vacation, sometimes we just see that as the green light to not track our calories and go completely off the rails and eat tons and tons of food and just take quite a few steps back after taking all those steps forward. And that's what you don't want to do. Again, when you're in a fat loss phase, you don't want a fat loss phase to become a fat loss lifestyle. You want it to be a fat loss phase. Get in, achieve, and then get out. And so it's important that even on the days when you're just not able to track, you do everything in the best of your ability to still hit the goal for the day, because fat loss is done over time. And in order to achieve a fat loss goal, you have to break it down on a daily basis and win the day, guys. I cannot stress that enough. So that's all I got for you guys today. Again, I need to get to bed, and so does this guy. So we're gonna end the video right here, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure, and if you're new here, to hit that subscribe button right here. That means a ton to me. And also, I will see you in the next video. If you have not checked out the last video though, check that guy out right here. We'll see you guys in the next one.